Goody!
Gunrups.
Hello, my little dots. Are you ready for a sweet adventure? Well, looks like I haven't gotten run off the internet from my first Powerpuff Girl grown-up video, which means I can continue. From my last video, you saw that the green Rowdyruff and Powerpuff were the next on the chopping block. And if you have seen my thumbnail, Mitch is the next citizen for the grown-up train. Since I don't have to explain why I'm doing this, I can actually just get started with the video. And the first character we are doing is...
Well, I want to know what my special power is, and we're not leaving until I find out what it is!
Buttercup is by far my favorite Powerpuff Girl, which I feel like she is for a lot of people. However, I already know mine is not going to be to everyone's liking. See, I like that Buttercup is the toughest puff, but I do feel like everyone forgets that she doesn't always have to be, or how most people think she's not allowed to wear feminine clothes. Now hear me out, I do like those designs, it's perfect for her. But I always feel like Buttercup was the middle child who had to stick out from her sisters, but still enjoyed some feminine things like gossiping, sleepovers, heck, even having crushes. She was the first one to have a crush on a boy and still get mad when said boy likes Sedusa. If you have seen memes of people liking one thing in their youth, hating it as they grow up, then coming back to it once they are older, I feel like Buttercup fits that to a T. Plus, there is another reason why I style her adult form more feminine, but still with muscles. I gave her an inverted form, bigger stubs, and a bigger chest than Blossom. I always found it very ironic that tomboys of the groups have the bigger proportions, which also helps give a feminine edge to her. I am definitely in the camp of ladies can be hot with muscles, so I needed to show that the green puff is strong physically too. I know the puff form can be hard to showcase it, probably why most artists give them fingers in a normal style, but I always love the challenge of working with some limitations to stay true to the style. So for Buttercup's outfit sheet, I pretty much just upped the sex appeal since Buttercup seemed like the girl who could pull it off. In my older design, she wore a lot of tight outfits to help show off her figure. This time I wanted to give her more V-neck shirts, and I seriously want to draw her in this dress one day. The main reason for this is when Buttercup grows up, she becomes a correctional officer, aka a prison guard, where most people treat her like a cis guy, which can be disheartening for some people if that is not what they are going for. So outside of work, Buttercup is more than comfortable wearing feminine clothing like she did in her youth, not afraid to show off the strength of strong women everywhere. Seriously, I hate when people don't let strong cis females be strong and enjoy their femininity too. So Buttercup felt like that girl who could inspire those ladies that it's okay to be different. Being that way, I have her in a skirt to give her a comfortable and cute feel, while also giving her a V-neck crop top to show off her abs and chest. Double whammy here. Combat boots were a given, and just gave her adult facial structure as normal. Then I finally just looked at the image, feeling like something was missing. So something that I have developed over my Powerpuff writing is the professor has developed Antidote X patches to help lessen the girl's powers if people are worried they are cheating, or just something to help weaken them. I realized I could use this for other villains to either get their hands on Chemical X and Antidote X, making weapons that can either damage/help them against the Powerpuff Girls. This led me to give Buttercup and later Butch scars. I'm sure the professor could easily make some Chemical X cream to make them go away, but the greens would definitely wear them as badges of honor. I won't tell you how they got them yet, but Buttercup has about 5, one on her back that I didn't sketch out.
Simple, and as Mari always says, thick lines on the outside, thin lines on the inside. I also decided to do the scar coloring first, so I hopefully don't have to do it later whenever I start working on the comic stuff. I felt like a limited color palette works well for the green, so I only used one main new color, which is orange, and her green, while giving her black and grays to help push those colors. The orange really draws your eyes to the chest, which is the point, and the green helps balance it out. Color placement also helps make your eye go towards certain things, so I was happy I realized that as I was working on the piece. I used the dark shades from my homemade color board for shading, and placed a few more lines to make the top actually look like fabric. I think I could have toned down the highlights, but that's just how the shade black works. Once done, I added her to the height chart with the others.
Rumble time! Rumble time!
Okay, I thought Brick's design was going to be my kryptonite because he's my favorite Ruff, but Butch. Oh boy, Butch. So with Butch, I always love giving him the strongest form, since unlike Buttercup, who actually learned peace, he wouldn't know how to control his strength. I gave him a trapezoid for his shape and followed Buttercup's form. Bigger stubs, bigger chest, and bigger muscles. I seriously made a beefcake. However, I figured he would find some peace in his older age because there would be people and things that helped him with his strength and a bit of his anxiety. Not gonna go into too much detail, but Butch only found himself getting calm playing court battle games like Ace Attorney or Danganronpa. Long story short, he grew up to be a lawyer/attorney, but it's to help the villains because there's definitely going to be times people will falsely accuse them, and Butch is going to be the one to help them out. So his outfit sheet still kind of reflects that, because I had this idea in my head for a long time. The old designs were also based on tightness and showing off the muscle. So I found some good shirts from Pinterest. I gave him some basic slack pants since he would still need to have that professional feel to him, but he would totally wear a muscle shirt underneath his dress shirt, which is why I drew him in it after remembering that I needed to map out the scars. I knew most of them would be covered, but again, it would be smart to know where they are. He has about 6, one of them on the back of his head too. I gave him dress shoes and decided to flatten out his spikes when he's older. And by adding the thin mustache and stubble, his baby face left and howooga! Did the scar coloring and the line art like before, which now that I think about it, this was my first time doing scarring. I like it. With colors, I felt like his shirt should be his green, and I wanted the pants to be opposite of Buttercup's skirt. The only other color I added was the shoes being rusted red, because this look needed to be calm. He was definitely my favorite to draw and color for this video. Seriously, I have never had this reaction to Butch this much. But I'm not mad. Once finishing, I moved him to the height chart next to Buttercup. Okay, I will tell you now, Mitch was my least favorite to draw. Not for the reasons you might think. I actually have drawn him before with the greens, because they are totally my brotaku for real. It's because I knew he was going to be a difficult character to draw, because I wanted to make him into a punk rock star, which means complex outfits. He was another character with the inverted triangle, and I felt if he was friends with the greens, they would make him work out with them. He mainly keeps up his arm muscles, because he plays bass guitar in the band he's in. I had such a struggle with his hand, and I will be fiddling with it throughout the speed paint. As you can see from his outfit sheet, I gathered up what punk outfits I felt could fit him, and tried to figure out what I could mimilize, but still get it to look like the correct aesthetic. Since I gave the green scars, I knew Mitch needed tattoos to kind of match them. Most of the tattoos have meaning, like the stars are Buttercup, the butcher's knife is Butch, and the heart is from his key. I will give some detail on Mitch since he's a minor character, because I don't know if I will be going into it in the main comic. Since Mitch only had a grandma looking after him, and there is a sure way that she's going to pass soon, I felt like Miss Keem would adopt him since I felt like she was always concerned for him. He would be more rebellious at first, but slowly he would come to appreciate her more. Anyway, onto the outfit. I was also inspired by Ren, aka GinjaNinjaOwO, Eevee video, where she allowed herself to make the boys stylish. I was looking at the Jolteon a lot, but of course I am making it for a comic, so I needed to keep the detail low. I gave him that mixed match pattern pants with a ripped up shirt to show off his chest. Of course I needed to add accessories, which I took from his middle school days, chain, a necklace, and a lot of piercings. with his face, I felt like his freckles would go to his shoulders and decided to keep his cricket smile. It makes him feel like himself, even if Miss Keem would ask him if he would want braces. I hate to say that during the lining I forgot to save, so I had to do it all over again. At least the tattoos were saved because I had cleaned it up, and I doubt I would have remembered how it looked. I did a lot of backtracking because I forgot to do some line work. So yeah, Mitch was enjoying his rebellious nature with me. The colors were very straightforward because I drew him before and just added the yellow because it's one of his signature colors. I honestly have a lot of fun little shorts with him and the greens, and probably to your surprise, Boomer too. He's the same size as Butch, but don't let that fool you. Just like I keep bringing up the old picture I made of them, Buttercup is the leader of this band of misfits, and those are her bitches. And there we go! Another design done. This group is probably my favorite so far, especially since I wasn't expecting to see how hot they would turn out, but sometimes that's just how it is. Again, these are the older designs. I do have younger designs that won't be doing a full video on, just speed paints when I have time. Do you have a favorite here? I would love to hear it. Since I already did 2 of the main puffs and ruffs, it's only fair that the blues go next with an extra citizen. I'm sure all of you can guess who is next, but who knows, maybe I will surprise you. But until then, keep moving forward, my little dots. Your sugary journey is arising.
What? You doubt the word of a Powerpuff? Oh, boo-hoo. Starting up, starting up. Okay, I can do this.